Are you bored? Miserable? Has the world turned you hollow? Do you feel without energy and drive? Melancholia or depression? Do you feel an overall miasma of sadness, regret, and lost ambition? I can't exactly cure such a thing, but I have a remedy which may help. Creation, my friend, the simple act of creation. It doesn't matter what it is, you want to write, draw, compose, edit, or film, or something beyond the ken of those words. It doesn't matter. You want advice, tips, secret, arcane knowledge of this most holy of acts. But maybe you worry about drive, or skill, or you work too much and so don't have the energy. The point is that if you want to create but don't know where to begin, then this is the video for you. Firstly, more than anything, more than talent or skill or anything else, the first thing you need is energy, drive, and conviction. Tell me, how many unfinished books are there? Abandoned masterpieces, drawings that were given up on, stories that never got told, games whose developers abandoned them, or RPG campaigns that people stopped showing up to? The answer is not dozens or hundreds or even thousands, but millions, hundreds upon hundreds of millions, especially over the course of human history. So to begin, you must grit your teeth and find your fuel and hunger. But how does one go about this? So very often you hear of the greats speaking about their muses. But what precisely is she, the one who grants inspiration? These are the first two pieces of the puzzle, my friend. In order to begin, you must understand these sole two things. Firstly, energy. We as humans have a finite amount of energy and time. There are ways to recycle it and rearrange it. Working out is an energy investment. You give energy now for more energy later, and so on and so forth. To begin, start with a mere 10 minutes. Each and every day, 10 minutes. Everyone has 10 minutes. No matter how tired or miserable or depressed or unenergetic, open up your medium of choice, your digital scroll, your quill and ink, your paintbrush. Even if you do not truly create something in that time, devote yourself to it. Even if you conjure but a single sentence and you end up hating it, do it. You climb a mountain one fingernail at a time, especially if you have a distinct lack of time. And there is little doubt what you create at first will be useless. Do not lose hope, do not lose energy. This is but the first step. Accumulate these 10-minute increments, and over time you may want to increase the energy and time and investment to them. This is a choice. Do it if it calls to you, do not if it does not. What you are doing is fishing, hunting, putting out bait, and a lure. This is an accumulation of small convictions, small agreements, small victories made with yourself. Do not underestimate them, ever. This builds skill, this builds dedication, this builds conviction, this builds purpose. Every day, 10 minutes. Maybe you go for 30 minutes, maybe an hour, another. Don't stop, just add more time to it. Creation will regenerate you. It is a process, it is a hobby, it can be a purpose, it's whatever you want it to be. But it is also a case of how much you want it. If you want a thing truly, desire it, and hunger after it, you must make a sacrifice to it. You cannot have the thing without offering parts of yourself to it. It's not how it works. It's just not. Now, secondly, how does one develop the muse, inspiration, or energy? You've built up small victories, but you really want that burst of inspiration. However, you cannot will that into existence. What you can do is increase your chances of catching it. The answers to that are simple. What is the reason you want to create in the first place? What is that thing that struck sparks in your soul? That is your muse. That is your inspiration. Find it, hunt it, catch it, then devour it. Perhaps the world, the birds, and the trees and beasts compel you to paint. Human interaction fires you up to write a play. The sounds of a yawning universe to compose music. For me, the products of creation fire me with the desire to create. When I have seen something so magnificent that I cannot believe it was created by humans. I have devoted vast stretches of my time to hunting for that feeling. Nothing fills me with energy more than a good story. To begin creation, one must make sacrifices too. One, the sacrifice of time. You dedicate the essence of your life each and every day or each and every week. Consistent sacrifice. This builds conviction, determination, hunger. You stoke your own embers. Two, the sacrifice of energy. You hunt a thing which ignites your soul and sets your mind ablaze. When these two things collide, that is when you get long stretches of manic workflow, energy which fills you, and the accumulation of small incremental victories. It is both. Relying on mania and the muse alone is stupid, but work without passion can become banal and just crushing. It destroys your will to do anything. These are the first two steps. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was David carved. You will fail, you will agonize, the thing you conjure won't be as wonderful as you have believed, you will scratch and scream at your own limits. I know I do, every single day, every single hour, every minute I live. Nothing I have ever created has been the best of the best, but every time I fail, I destroy myself and rebuild. That is our essence. Get out there and begin. You must begin. You must have the self-respect to finish and continue, the conviction to get up in the morning and do it. 10 minutes, 30, an hour, 3 hours, 5, it doesn't matter. It's easy to create when you are filled with energy and drive. It's easy to do anything when you're filled with energy and drive. But you must learn to act even when faced with misery and melancholia. You must learn to drag yourself, no matter how unsightly, to that goddamn stigmata and pull yourself over the finish line and do it. If you stand still, you die. If you are not improving, you are rotting. Nothing stays still in this universe. There is only growth or decay. That is everything. That is all there is. It's not about talent or skill or anything like that. Those things all help, of course. Those are tools and weapons, but it is not that which keeps one going. If you say you are going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to write a book, do it. Paint. Conjure a game into existence out of nothing but abstract code, then do it. Never delude yourself into thinking this will be easy. It never is, ever. But nothing worthwhile ever is. When you encounter the limits of your own abilities, though, that is the true marker of your ability to push on. When you encounter those limits, destroy yourself and rebuild. Never stay the same person. Always improve. More and more and more again. That is all. That is all it has ever been. How many people have you seen in your life who are more talented than you, more gifted, more driven, more lucky? The answer was many. I was told I was a gifted child, that I had talent. I never had to work as hard as others at school or other things. But that also meant that when I saw someone with real talent, real power, real conviction, that I was made so absolutely clear where my position in the world's hierarchy was. I am a bottom feeder. Perhaps better than some, but I wasn't really that talented or skilled or lucky. An event like that will take the drive from you like nothing else, and I almost gave up on everything. Not just creation and movie making and drawing and writing, but everything. I thought I would live quietly, somewhat happily, perhaps get a simple job I enjoyed but didn't agonize over in passion or failure or shame. I would live an unremarkable life, perhaps get a wife or husband or some such, rear children, and then die peacefully. And I was so very, very, very close. I saw dozens of my peers doing the same, giving up on their dreams, falling off that ladder, thousands more people whom I didn't know. Why even bother doing anything? AI will just do everything in a few years anyway. However, something internally changed at one point. I encountered a wall that myself couldn't get past. So, what did I do? I destroyed myself. If I couldn't gather the conviction, passion, skill, or dedication to pursue my dream of creation, then I would become someone who could. Your values are fluid, as is yourself. Human beings can become anything. Wake the fuck up, samurai. Listen, if all of this seems weird to you, abstract, somewhat insane, delusional, the ramblings of an idiot, that's because it is. I will go over some of the more literal steps in the coming videos, writing advice, scratching advice, so on and so forth. Literal, concrete. This is vague. But that's my experience. In the beginning, you need abstraction, vagueness, and conviction. You have to dedicate yourself to something. Set your mind to its task, its completion. I will admit that I have taken a small amount of shame, but also devilish glee in watching some of my peers and rivals fall and fail about me, tumbling down, giving up. I see people whose ideals and paltry passions failed when confronted with reality. It's a tale as old as time. The truth of the matter is that not all of us will make it. Some of us will not be able to assemble small victories or find true passion or conviction, but you cannot control them. You cannot control others. You cannot control technology or energy or the world. You can control yourself. Stress, pressure, misery. I have turned almost everything in my life into a tool for my desires. Every emotion I have, every relationship I have ever made, Every thought that passes through my mind, I devote it all to creation, to writing, to that. But even then, you will encounter failure. You will encounter defeat and the shame of loss. I certainly have. The true marker is what you do when encountered by that inevitability. And if you want an example of this, I shall give you one. Not of my own life, but from a story, as those are my favorite things in this world. Blue Lock is an anime and manga about soccer. I shan't get into the details. The point is that it becomes overwhelmingly clear that in this current game that our main characters are outmatched, outskilled, outgunned, outlucked. Victory is impossible. There is not a single route to success. Morale is low, everyone is on the verge of giving up. The dreams of everyone involved will end. They will no longer be able to create their victory. And in that moment, within the heart or mind of a single player, something changes. Confronted with that infinite wall of you cannot get past this. Your skill is not enough, your dream is not enough, nothing is enough. Confronted with that stress and pressure, which are overwhelming and impossible, crushing, depressing, all-consuming misery, and the certainty not only of defeat, but of the death of yourself. A spark of inspiration ignites an accumulation of skill. Bachira in that moment runs rampant through the enemy and scores a single goal. This moment of pressure-induced inspiration would never have occurred without the overwhelming stress and mounting inevitability of defeat. The truth of the matter is that I would not be here if I had not been so close to giving up. Perhaps I am insane, deluded, delusional, but I want to be victorious. I want to stand where everyone else I have ever known has failed. I want to sit atop a mountain of broken dreams and say, where everyone else failed, I succeeded. And I want to give others the spark that was given to me. If a single person sees this video and gets it, then this will have been worth it. Even if it gets like 1 billion dislikes. If one person gets it, there we go. I love creation. I love stories, I love consuming them, I love creating them. Almost nothing makes me angrier and more miserable than the limits of my own abilities, and so I do everything in my power to overcome them. Stress and pressure can push you. I am not the same person I was half a decade ago. That person wanted to make movies more than anything, but when confronted with the reality of his skill and talent and weakness, almost gave up. I guess that version of me did give up. For 2 whole years, I kept my head down and rotted like 100 million others. My dream of creation lay dead. I left that weak person in that corpse field and have never looked back. That's all it is. If you create, you will regenerate from failure. If you create, you will evolve. If you create and recreate enough times, you will be born again. Your creation recreates yourself. Your weakness will become fuel and strength. Cast away everything and create. No matter how unsightly, create. Accumulate skill, conviction, and inspiration. Create, damn you. The world may be ending. Create. Your parents will be dying. Create. Your friends may be failing. Create. You may be rotting. Create. Your job and potential dreams may be taken by artificial intelligence. Create. And at the end of it all, you yourself shall be recreated. Gather time, accumulate conviction, find your muse. What the hell are you waiting for? Stress and pressure and misery are just another fuel. It's just another coping mechanism. Everything can become your fuel, my friend. I hope you succeed. I truly do. That is my most sincere wish. If no one else is cheering you on, I'll be that guy for you. Don't worry.